So what does GPT mean? Like, this is a group of very technical people. I love the no BS motto of the conference. I really enjoy it. And talking to you guys yesterday was great. It just felt like being back at MIT where I felt like one of the less smarter people there. So you guys will probably know what GPT means, but just in case, if you guys are thinking generative pre-trained transformer, yes, you're right, but that's not what I want to focus on. I want to focus on general purpose technologies. And what is a general purpose technology? It's technologies that have led to massive transformations. The steam engine, electricity, the internet, mobile devices, geolocation. So they're technologies that become embedded within society and create categories, create industries, create opportunities for new jobs, to change the way we interact with each other. And AI is that. AI is a general purpose technology. And Gen AI specifically is really transforming the way we do things and will probably create a lot of different things we can't even imagine today. Similar to electricity, we wouldn't have thought about a refrigerator. We wouldn't have thought about projections and probably computers. So I think general purpose technology is a very important concept, and thinking about AI as a general purpose technology and thinking about how the world was transformed by some of these other general purpose technologies can allow for insights and where to go with this. There's two main ways how to create value with AI. Productivity, which is the obvious one, and probably most of the work today is around productivity plays. Basically the imitation game. How do you use AI in spaces where humans are doing things to do it quicker, less costly, less errors? The harder thing is innovation or creating new things, creating new industries, creating new ways of creating value. And I think that's where the largest opportunity resides. So is AI a hype or an inflection point? Will AI destroy us or will it save us? If you guys had to pick a side, just show of hands, who thinks that AI is more dangerous than it is an opportunity? Just show of hands. Okay, so I'm assuming who's undecided, who's not sure? Okay, great. I didn't want to assume that it was the flip side of that. All right. I mean, a lot of people are talking about this. There's different people like Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Andrew Ng, Jeff Hinton, who have different opinions on this. If you have not read the Gates Note, the newsletter he releases, last year in May, he released one on AI. And he basically said that there's two things that he's seen in the course of his life that will transform the world as we know it. One was the GUI, the graphical user interface, which obviously he leveraged pretty well, and it's changed the way we interact with technology. The second thing is artificial intelligence, and he, in the Gates Note, proposes or establishes why he thinks that is. I'd highly recommend you guys read it. So Elon Musk sued Sam Altman, founder of OpenAI, and now suing OpenAI in the news all the time. He actually, in 2015, when he founded OpenAI, he said the way we're developing AI is like summoning the devil. It's the way we're progressing that this is dangerous. A year ago, he called, or a little under a year ago, he called for a halt in the way the progress of Gen AI and the way it was progressing. Because obviously, he's investing heavily in it. Tesla, XAI. He just released Grok, his LLM, open source. And Andrew Ng, Stanford professor, Coursera co-founder, founder of Google Brain, he talks about AI as the new electricity. I'm fortunate to work with Andrew in his VC fund and his venture builder. And Jeff Hinton, I thought Jeff Hinton, one of the grandfathers of AI, as he's called, won the Turing Award together with Jan LeCun and Joshua Bengio. I'm sure you guys all know him. Created the backpropagation or discovered it together with other people at the same time. But basically, someone very serious, knows the technology, has been building this technology forever. In April of last year, resigned to Google. Said, I'm not resigning to Google because they're not doing things well or not being responsible. I'm resigning because I feel a moral responsibility to use my platform and my position to call on the need to do things differently and be aware of the risks. And he said something at a conference at MIT the day after he resigned, which is very powerful and profound. He said, after playing around with GPT-4, he'd played with GPT-4, he started realizing this is a very different type of intelligence than human intelligence. And he said, I've changed my mind in terms of AI and the progress and where it could go. And I'm starting to think that it's plausible that humans are just a phase in the evolution of intelligence. It's tremendously profound. I don't want to scare you guys, but that actually got me thinking about this. I changed a little my opinions on the trajectory of AI and where it could go and the possibility of AGI and the risks. So the age of intelligence as a service. Today we have several companies, or a few companies actually, that have the large language models. And many of you guys are building some of these. But a lot of companies, most companies, will not be building their LLMs. They will be consuming LLMs as a service. And they will be consuming intelligence as you would consume an Uber. Uber X, Uber Black. You'll pay more, you'll pay less, depending on the level of intelligence you want. So in this age where you can get the brain of a kid or the brain of Einstein, basically what creates an opportunity for competitive advantage? And I like what Alex was saying. It has to do with the data. It has to do with many things, but there's two main ones I'll talk about today. But depending on what you feed that intelligence will give you different insights. So depending on the books, the data that you give people, you will be able to expect them to do different things. If you control the intelligence, the data will be the difference. So there's, I would say, two main sources of competitive advantage. One is the data, as I mentioned. The other is us, humans. And not only technical people like us, but business people. And I think in business people and the domain knowledge resides a lot of data, which is not digitized, and it's not fed into AI systems yet. Therefore, there's an opportunity there to really take advantage of that. So from the point of view of data, AI in some ways is becoming commoditized. Any company can access the same level of intelligence. Every company can access GPT-4 Turbo or GPT 3.5. So how do I compete against my competitors that have the same data as I do? You have to create proprietary data. You have to create touch points with your clients so that the AI that you can access, if you're not building your own, and many won't because they don't have access to GPUs. Even if they had all the money, it's hard to get GPUs. There's a scarcity of them. It's hard to get talent. Talent wants to be where the GPUs are. So therefore, investing in data is fundamental. And thinking of data and how you create data and how you curate it and the quality of it is fundamental. Another one has to do with humans and how we use these things. How do we design things? So from the technical point of view, the technical advantage of people is how do we design systems that are creating an edge? So RAG, how you're thinking of classifiers on the intentions, so you basically reroute those requests to the LLM or to other systems. That's where there's an opportunity. How do you create new technology? Many of you guys are building those things. But also like putting the hands of just regular people, marketing analysts, financial analysts, salespeople, and using these tools for productivity gains. And helping them be skilled and trained on upskilling on these tools will create an advantage. Because if they're able to use these tools to modify and change and enhance the products they're building to serve their clients better, and if we're using these tools to understand our customers better, potentially there's an advantage there as well. I think this will also lead to a reshuffling of the allocation of tasks in companies. So today, a lot of people are worried that AI is going to replace their roles or their jobs. And I like the research of Eric Brynjolfsson from Stanford. He was at MIT before, and a buddy of mine from MIT who's a professor at Wharton now. They basically are researching how AI is changing the labor market. And what they're saying is, like, in reality, AI is not going to replace roles and jobs. It will at some point, and maybe it will in certain roles today. But it's replacing or can replace tasks within roles. So what's going to happen is a reshuffling of the way organizations work, the way we work as humans, the way we work as professionals. So if I'm doing 10 tasks in my day-to-day jobs, maybe one or two of them will be replaceable by AI in the short term. And as the AI becomes more and more reliable, probably more tasks will be. Therefore, there's a surplus of time that I have that I can work on other things that AI is not good at. So there's going to be like outsourcing of tasks to AI within organizations, and organizations that learn how to do this mapping of tasks and allocation, optimal allocation to humans and AI will probably have an edge. And probably there's also going to be a change in the way organizations work and how they configure the work among humans as well. Having agents do a lot of the work, which leads to I think every person, every company is going to have agents. And if you think about it, an AI agent is a time shrinker. It basically allows the AI to work with other agents potentially and solve a lot of the problems and ask a lot of the questions which we would normally ask and save time, right? So potentially there's going to be a lot of efficiencies in society and a lot of the job. And an agent will be the broker. So brands will come to me and the agent will know my preferences and it will basically filter, and I will get what's really relevant to me. So personalization will probably become more of a reality. I do want to mention one thing, which I think is a very important concept. All of you guys know the Turing Test, probably. The imitation game, Alan Turing, the test he had for evaluating intelligence at a computer level. Eric, I mentioned him before, he talks about the Turing trap. And he says that the problem we have today with artificial intelligence is that many times we're focusing AI only or mainly on the productivity aspect, on the imitation game. How do we look at what we're doing as humans, and how do we have the AI just do it faster, less expensive, better, less errors? And that's great. There's a lot of value there. That's the productivity side we talked about. But the big opportunity is on the augmentation or the creation of new things. So thinking about that, that's where the big unlock has been across humankind when the general purpose technologies were inserted and suddenly new categories were created. So I just want to leave you guys with that. And just to finalize, and this is like probably my BS slide, so apologies for that, but AI won't replace humans. Humans who know AI will replace those who don't, and I think this is a reality. I always say, hey, we should train ourselves on this, and I feel like I'm far behind on this, and I see colleagues of mine using Gen AI tools and being so much productive, so I think there's a call for all of us to learn more and more about Gen AI. Please reach out if you guys are in the Valley. That's where I live. There's a lot of activities there. And please connect on LinkedIn. And pleasure being here with you guys. Thank you so much.